one. All right. This is our history class here. I have 3 students and a student doing econ with my associate, and so we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, here is our learning objective for today. This is what you guys will learn on the PowerPoint side. Students will know how the Civil War affected the U.S. and its people. I have that up here. And then kind of here's a picture of one of the bloodiest battles that we're obviously going to learn about today throughout this PowerPoint. So you have your notebooks. Go ahead and open those up and find a spot to write. Here is what you need to write down, okay? These are the advantages to both sides of the war, okay? I know that looks like a lot, but this is really going to help you out on the test and answer that learning objective. Remember, if it's in blue, it's something you need to write down. If it's in black, it's something we can leave alone. And it's just talking points for me. So the North's advantages, okay? Remember, we have the country divided in half here. North up top, the South on the bottom. In the North, we have better farm production. They have better factories, meaning they're able to produce like ships, they're able to produce materials, chariots, things along those lines, cannons, stuff like that. They also have a better naval force. A pencil? Yes. I got your pen. Do a lot of work? Boom. There you go. They also have a better naval force, and they have more railroad lines. A lot more railroad lines. That's going to be important because you're able to get around a lot more. The South, their advantages during the war is they were able to fight a defensive war, meaning they got to stay on their half of the country, their half altogether. Means they didn't have to go invade something. It's tough when you have to go invade a country or a section of land and try and take it over. The people who live there obviously have the advantage because they know the land over outsiders. And of course that means you might have to wipe out everybody to take it over. So they got to fight a defensive war. The South also had outstanding military leadership. All they had to do was hold off the Union Army, kind of going back to that defensive war. And people in the South wanted to protect their way of life. So when there is a cause worth fighting for, you're going to be more willing to fight for it, okay? The Northerners, they might not have been all about this, so they can outlast them a little bit, because it's not necessarily affecting their way of life. Remember, shorten those up if you can. You don't need to write them down word for word, just kind of shorten them up the best that you can. I know it's a lot of writing, but we don't have much to take down for notes today. Did you get it all done, Paris? Mark, did you get it all written down? Johnny, just let me know when you're ready to go. Take as much time as you need. Good, Johnny? All right, moving on. Next slide. Okay, you just have the one bullet point to write. Because remember, if it's in blue, you'll probably see it later on the test, so it's something to have down. Black is a talking point for me.
Is that a snake?
It is. That's the Norse plan and the bloodiest day of the war, okay? So General Whitfield Scott came up with the Anaconda Plan. The idea was to surround the South and squeeze it to death, okay? Not let anything in or out. So here's the country of the United States so far as of the Civil War, and this is just a picture like a newspaper might have put in, okay? An example of demonstrating it here. So you can kind of see that they kind of marked it off here, and they wanted to slither around here and make sure nothing comes in, okay? So here would be, this would be your Mississippi River here, so they wanted to keep everything inside, okay? Yep, just the one in the blue. Yep, good question, Marcus.
So snake look like a big old powder.
Yeah, it's the best one I can find. All the other ones were a little overdone. But so you can kind of see it looks like a snake, and their whole thing was they were eventually going to squeeze it down, okay? They were going to kind of tighten everything down and make sure no supplies can get in or get out. So if no supplies can get in or get out, that means they're not going to have enough food to feed everybody. They're definitely not going to get weapons from other countries or from outside places. So whatever they pretty much have in the South is what they are stuck with, because they were able to use their Navy to make sure that nobody got in, okay? This is a very crazy plan that is actually going to have a major impact on the war. And to show you, this is an actual picture of an anaconda, what they look like. They can grow up to like 25 feet long. If you Google something, I was shocked. You can see them eating like cows and things like that. I mean, these are just massive, massive snakes. And that's why it's called the Anaconda Plan, because it's going to encompass all of the South. The one in black that you don't need to write down, the naval blockade did not let any important supplies in to help the South fight the war. Okay, nothing in, nothing out.
What if the anaconda eats the whole world?
Eats the whole world.
Like, what if they all team up together and eat the whole world? I know it's like a whole bunch of anacondas now.
There's not as many as you would think. And plus, they're like native to South America, not something you need to worry about. I don't think we have any here.
So they can start off eating South American people.
Yes, they
can
could.
Start up in Iowa, then...
They got a long way to travel for Iowa. Long way. I'm not too worried about it. So jot down that top one, that blue point. The most important part is get the general's name and what the plan is and what it does, okay? So sometimes it's easier to write all that down, but if you can shorten it, that would be great. So Paris, I kind of said, why would this plan be so important? I mean, if you can't get anything in, getting out, how's that going to affect people?
They won't be able to just protect themselves, they won't be able to eat, they won't be able to sleep, they won't be able to clean.
Okay, good. So you have those, right? Those are all examples of this plan. So when the test question pops up, how did this affect the people? You can be able to jot down like the Anaconda plan, did this and this and this, didn't let supplies in, didn't let supplies out. So good. Good, 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 good. Okay, looks like we're all caught up there. All right, here we go. How would the Anaconda Plan affect the people in the South? Write 2 sentences real quick, okay? Write 2 sentences on your sheet of paper. We just talked about it, okay? Write 2 sentences on how the Anaconda Plan would affect the people, okay? Paris just gave you a couple answers. I just gave you some answers. So if you were living at this time, how would this affect the people? How would this impact what's going on? Just give me 2 sentences about what the Anaconda Plan would do to affect those people. 2 sentences.
What did they do?
He comes later because he's at North halftime, so he'll get here right before 11 o'clock. Right before 11.
When did you start over there?
Last week, I think. Last week.